Welcome back to our 8th lesson of Google Sheets. In this lesson, we are going to learn about data validation and also how we can make a drop-down list in Google Sheets. Well, both of the methods in both Google Sheets and also Excel is quite the same. So, without any further ado, let's just jump into the lesson where we are going to show you data validation and also a drop-down list. So right now, what we're going to do is going to be making up a new blank spreadsheet so that I can put in my data and then validate it whenever I need it. So I'm going to do is going to be clicking on blank. And here, let's say I'm going to do is, okay, let's say I'm going to type the name of 5 different fruits. Okay. Now here I'm going to do is click on it so that it gives me the exact range. Type the name of 5 different foods. Or let's say table. Here I'm going to make out the drop down list. I'm going to do is click on this, Control C. And paste it right over here. But instead of here, I'm going to do is going to be typing in, let's say table of the names. Okay, basically of table of the names of 5 different. So I'm going to do is go off at the end. Colors. Okay. I'm done. Now I'm going to do is put up the names of the 10 things. Now here I'm going to do is going to be starting off with fruits. Let's say I'm going to put in apple. Then I'm going to put in, let's say, banana. Hit on enter. Mango. Lychee. And the last one, let's put in kiwi. Just a name, whichever one you prefer. And the next one, what we're going to do is put in a couple of colors. Red. Blue. Black. Put in white. Now let's put in gray. Now I have a couple of names, right? I have 10 different names. So from the 10 different names I'm going to be making in the data validation table over here, or let's say I'm going to do is going to be making out this over here. This is going to be the drop down list. I'm going to type in the heading, drop down list. Okay. Now, if you want to validate those data, first off, select them, and then you can validate your data however you want. You can name it up. You can see more this option, okay? More actions which you can do. But here, what we can do is click on View More Cell Action if it doesn't appear up on your front screen or front interface. You can click on Data Validation. You can add a rule. Now, let's say these are all applied to range and criteria should be dropped down, right? You can add another method to apple. Let's say I'm going to put in this. Banana should be yellowish. Mango should be also yellowish. Let's say I'm going to put in, instead of this, I'm going to customize this a bit. Okay. Then here in lychee, I'm going to put in something like this. And kiwi, I'm going to put in a couple, or maybe I'm going to change it up a bit. I'm going to customize it. Select the color for it, press on OK, and now I have my kiwi. I'm going to click on done. Now I have my data validation table over here. You can select on this and then select whichever one you want. But what if I want to use it over here and selecting the cells? So you can create your data validation just like that. But what if I want to use it over as a different one, or use it as a drop-down list over here? So now we already know how we can make a data validation table, but how do we make a single one? In a single one, what we're going to do is select this specific cell. I'm going to do is select the whole thing. Okay. And instead of selecting the whole thing, I'm going to right click on it. And here I'm going to make a drop down. Okay. Click on this drop down and you will find out this option over here. Now from here, what we're going to do is going to be clicking on drop down and apply the range C2. And here I'm going to click on advanced option, which cells you want to use. Now here in option 1, you can choose the color, you can choose whichever cells you want to use. Now here, what we're going to do over here is going to be option 2, option 1. But instead of option 1, I'm going to do is remove them, add another item. You can do that. Show help, that's like totally up to you. You can validate it over here. What I'm going to do is going to be removing them. And from there, what we're going to do is going to be selecting on this cell. And you're going to go off the data. And here in data, you can name the ranges, and also data validation is over here. So here I'm going to click on data validation, add the rule. You're going to select all of this together. Okay, then you're going to make a rule. That's like totally up to you. But what we're going to do over here right now is going to be a bit different than what we did over at the last place. Okay, so first things first, we're going to select the range of data first. First off, you're going to create the filter and then select the range of data. That's a bit different, right? But here, I'm going to click on data validation. Okay, select on the specific cell just like I did over here. Click on data, or go off the data validation. Click on this and then select on data validation. That's easy. Click on data validation and you can see data validation rule has appeared up. Now, what I'm going to do is going to be clicking on add a rule. And instead of drop down, what you're going to do is going to be clicking on list of a range. So find out the list of range, okay? List from a range. Now I'm going to find out the list from a range. Let's say here it is not available right now. I'm going to do is find out list. If it is not available over here, you can see drop down from a range. Now you're going to select the specific cells. Let's say I'm going to use the specific cells. Okay, I can see H2 to H5. Now we have our specific range. I'm going to click on OK. Now we have a range. Now I'm going to do is put in the colors which I used previously. I'm going to use this banana. Then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do is change it a bit more. I'm going to customize it. I'm going to use this more yellow one. And then in lychee, I'm going to use this one. And on the last one, I'm going to use this kiwi. Apple. For apple, I'm going to do is add in another one. Okay, you have to use from H5. Instead of H5, I'm going to do is use H6. Okay, H6 you can type in. That's like totally up to you. Then we have is H6. I'm going to use apple. Okay, I'm going to use this, or I'm going to use apple to be red. And banana, this, mango, this. Use just whichever one you want. I'm going to do is use this over here, lychee, and click on done. And when you click on them, you will basically see all of them. Okay, if it doesn't appear up, what you're going to do is do it back again and select the specific range of data. I'm going to do is remove this one, add rule again, and you're going to select on apply. You're going to select on this, add another range. You can do that too. From here, I'm going to do is select all of them together. Okay, I'm going to press on cancel. Let's do it from the first or from the beginning again so that you understand all of it. So here I'm going to do is remove this one too. Okay, I'm going to select both of this and remove it. I'm going to do is just remove this. Delete the cell. Okay. Now I'm going to do is going to be hitting on this. Control X, paste it over here. Control X and paste it over here. Okay. Now I'm going to click on this again. Right click on it so that you can get the function of data validation. If you can't find it, just go off the data and then select on data validation, which is over here. Click on data validation, and then first things first, what you're going to do is click on add rule. Now apply to which sheet. Okay, then drop down from a specific range. Select on this and then select the entire range of data. Press on OK, and then you're good to go. You have basically all of them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. But basically there's 5, right? So it supports up to 4. Okay, so you cannot put another one. So you have to keep that thing in mind. You cannot put 5 of them all together. You can use 4. Okay, so I'm going to use this and click on advanced option. I'm going to do is click on this. Click on to enter a range of value from a range. That's like totally up to you. And display style, I can put arrow or plain text. That's like totally up to you which one you want to use. I want to use an arrow or a chip. So after you're done, just click on OK. And when you click on this, you'll basically find out whichever one you want. See? Select this and you will have the name. We're going to do the same thing with our color. Select on the cell, right click on it, go down, find out data validation, and then add another one, add row. Then I'm going to use add another item, add another item, add another item. And we have 5. I'm click on this, drop down. I'm going to select this. I'm going to do is going to be clicking on the range of colors. Okay, now we have 5 of them. So if you want to use 5 or more, you have to select or add in other elements at first and then use it according to your need. And you can put in or assign colors according to your need. After you're done, just click on done. And from here, you can select whichever color you want to use. Now, if you want to add it a bit more, let's say I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to add in colors, red, here, blue, black. Let's just use this. White is to be totally white, no colors, and gray, I'm going to use this. After this, just click on done, and then you will have specific colors on each and every one too. So now you know how you'll be able to validate or do data validation in Google Sheets, and also how you'll be able to make a drop-down list, or let's say a data validation drop-down list in Google Spreadsheet or Google Sheets. Now, let's move on to our next lesson of Google Sheets. So hope you understood everything about this lesson. In our next lesson, we're going to learn about importing ranges or data from another type of format of files. So let's move on to that lesson.